How's it going, everyone? So recently, for part of my course, I've been picking a lot of olives. Now they have been mainly for oil, pressing into oil, but we did also pick some very nice table olives. And if you follow my Facebook page, you would have seen that they were the Kalamata olives. Now these are really nice, high quality table eating olives. But obviously you don't want to eat them straight off the tree because they are incredibly bitter and taste absolutely disgusting. So what you want to do is brine them for a while. That gets rid of all that real bad bitterness. So I've got a really nice, easy, simple brining recipe, and I'm going to show you guys how to brine your olives. Okay, so this is really easy for brining your olives. So what you want to do is really have a 10% solution, or like salt solution. So that means for every liter of water that you use, you want to have 100 grams of salt. So I've got roughly 3 liters in this bucket. That's just enough to cover the olives. So really I want about 300 grams of salt, which is also roughly a cup of salt. So I'm going to be adding 3/3 of a cup of salt. Now obviously scales will be better to use, but we don't really have any electronic scales on me right now, so I'm just going to have to go the old-fashioned way. Right, so after that you just want to give it a stir, make sure you try and dissolve as much salt as possible, although it's really not a big problem if you can't. So the salt's now all dissolved into the water, and that is about a 10% solution. Now I have my lovely Kalamata olives here. I've just strained them of the old solution, so it was salty, so make sure you just remember that when you are draining it. You don't want to be putting it anywhere where plants are growing because it is quite a strong salt solution, so it will kill plants. After you then rinse them off, you do want to rinse them off again with some fresh water, which I've just done as well, and then tip that out. Then all you want to do is just pour your solution over the top. See, that is like just enough to cover it. See, they do float a bit at the start. That's right, so that'll just be enough. If not, just top it up with a little bit more water if you're not quite happy with it. And then, yeah, just leave it like that. So I did forget to mention at the end there, just make sure after you've changed the water or added your new water or whatnot, make sure you bung a lid on whatever container that you're using, because you really don't want air in there. I know that container I was using for the amount of olives that I had was way too big, but it's really all that I had. I would have preferred a much smaller container. That way you just have less air in there, so there's less chance of mold occurring. But when you're changing it really frequently, it really very minute, slim chance of happening. So you really won't have to worry about that at all. And speaking of changing, you really want to change it at every second day. They say that every day is best, but different people have different methods, and every second day is fine for me. One, it's just a bit easier. I don't have to check on it every single day. And two, also, that way I do go through less salt. I mean, I know it's very cheap. A kilo bag was $2 for me, so it's dirt cheap. But still, I don't want to be using more than I really need to. So that really is it. That's really just the simple basics. Just have a 10% solution. So every liter of water, you have 100 grams of salt. Old way is just every liter about, a bit over 1/3 of a cup of salt. Change it every 1 to 2 days, or however often you want. And that is really it. They'll probably take, depending on the ripeness of the olives, they'll take probably about a month of this brining until they're good to eat. You can eat them from after about 2 weeks, but for me they're still quite bitter, especially when they're ripe. So definitely at least a month gives you that gives it the time to get rid of the bitterness, and it tastes a lot better. So thinking, I don't think I've missed anything. I think that is really it. One note though as well is that if you have the green olives, they will require less time because that bitterness hasn't really fully developed compared to the black ripe olives. So they will take a bit longer. You can make a little slit in the side. This way it will just absorb sort of the salt solution faster and it will get rid of the bitterness quicker. But really, I like to just keep them whole. Otherwise, you've got to go through every single olive, and that is very time-consuming and will be a big pain in the bum. But other than that, that is really it. Again, my method is just very simple, very easy. That's why I like it. So if you like that, please leave a big thumbs up. Make sure you leave any comment suggestions or questions for me down below in the comments box, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. As I mentioned before, I am on Facebook and I do post updates on things like this. So if you haven't liked my Facebook page, make sure you do. That's Jacob's Backyard Gardening on Facebook. It's pretty easy to find. I'll have a link in the description below if you want to check that out. Also, I'm on Twitter, so that's Jacobs_B_G. In Twitter, and again I do more updates on things on other videos, and also sort of share with you videos and other things in the gardening scene that I really like. So lastly, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. My face will be popping up around here somewhere. Make sure you give that a big old click, and that way you just stay updated with everything that I've got going in my garden, and every time a new video is posted you can come along and check it out. So I really hope you guys like that, and I'll make sure I do a follow-up video on how they are doing as well. So I hope you like that, and I'll catch you guys next time.